All right. Welcome, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. It's 6:32. It's the Finance Committee meeting, and I'd like to call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
which stands
that stands one nation,
God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
Under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, this meeting is being recorded. On March 28th, 2025, Governor Healy signed into law a bill which extends the temporary provisions pertaining to the open meeting law to June 30th, 2027. Specifically, this further extension allows public bodies to continue to hold public meetings remotely without a quorum of the public body physically present at a meeting location, and to provide adequate alternative access to remote meetings. This language does not make any substantive changes to the open meeting law other than extending the expiration date of the temporary provisions regarding remote meetings from March 31st, 2025 to June 30th, 2027. Well, hello there. Welcome, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. So we're going to continue. Our first item on the agenda is to continue with department budget meetings for the fiscal 27 budget. Tonight we have 3 budgets to do. The police with Chief Dunn. We have the town clerk and registrar of voters with Kristen Sinton. And then the third up is the treasurer and collector in debt with Susan Brayton. So I was planning on going in that order. Unless someone has a significant conflict that someone would need to go first. Cindy, go ahead.
I just got a text from Al. He's having trouble getting in. So I'm going to, Jessica, could you resend Al Lees a link for the meeting, please? Sorry to interrupt, Karen.
No, thank you. Sure.
Thank you.
And what I always forget to do right away is to do a roll call of members who are here. So thanks, Cindy. Since we're remote, we have to do that. So we have myself, Karen Rouse is present, Zach LeBrew, Hugh Morton, Gary Carrero, Nancy Stan Cross, and Cindy Brown are present. I heard from Christopher Thrasher and Duncan Law, who would not be able to make the meeting tonight, so they are not here. And I think we're just trying to get Al to get in, and then once Al comes in, we'll announce him for the minutes. Thank you for that reminder, Cindy. I always forget until we're into the first presentation, and then I remember. Okay, so the first up is the police department. So Chief Dunn is here, so we'll turn this over to you, Chief. Hi, nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Happy holidays, everyone, and Happy New Year. If this is going to be a collaborative effort like it was last year with Deputy Chief Rebello, he's going to be helping out and answering any questions I may not be able to answer. First off, I just want to say thank you for your continued support. With the end of year transfer, we were able to upgrade our firearms platform, as well as provide mobile data terminals for our detectives so they can be on scene writing affidavits. So I'd like to thank you for that. And I can speak for myself and Deputy Rebellis. We'd like to thank Hugh Morton specifically for his continued advice. It's words can't say how much we appreciate him coming and give us his insight as to the budget. With that being said, we do have, Madam Chair, if it's okay, we do have a small PowerPoint presentation to kind of go over what we've done this year. If we can just allow Deputy Chief Rebello access to that document.
Absolutely. I think you might have access, so I think you should be all set.
The first slide should be of our police station. I don't know if it's come up.
I don't see anything up. It's starting to come up. There we go. Perfect.
So the first thing we're talking about is our police staffing and where we're at. This time last year, we had 27 officers out of a budget of 31. Since that time, we've taken on 1 lateral from the Florida Police Department. And we put 2 recruits through the recruit academy where they graduated, and they're now currently working on their own on the road. So right now we're at 30 out of 31. We have 2 recruits right now in an academy. They're graduating on Friday, they'll enter the field training program. At the conclusion of that, they will also be on their own. So we're looking at May. We'll have 31 out of 31 on the road, which is great for us. We do have one anticipated retirement, which is going to be in August. We currently have one recruit enrolled in an academy coming up in February, where they'll graduate in July. So the gap will be a shortened gap this year regarding our full complement of officers. So it's something we worked very, very hard on. We're glad that we're up to what we're budgeted. It actually provides less of a strain for our officers regarding overtime and getting forced in. So that's where we're at with our current staffing. Regarding our community outreach, our community outreach unit is continuing doing great work. They're doing it on a volunteer effort. One of the main highlights of this year was in August, we did the National Police Night Out, where we worked in collaborative with the Opioid Task Force, the Recreation Department, the Highway Department, the Fire Department was there as well. It was a huge success and something we're looking to build upon more this year coming up, as well as the other events that we tend to go to, Touch a Truck. We did a collaborative in May with the Council on Aging. So we're continuing to work diligently with the town and really being out there in the community. As one of the things we really want to highlight right now is our drone unit. We've kind of expanded upon that this year. We have 2 drone operators. And as you can see, what we're seeing right here in the top left corner, this is the fire from Excel Recycling that happened over the summer. By us deploying the drone unit, we were able to identify the hot spots for the fire department to adequately deploy their apparatus and deploy water. As you can see, if you could do deputy, if you could actually show that's where the ladder truck was. And we were able to see where the hot spots were. We could do the fire chief, all we could actually say to the boots on the ground as to where to go. To the right is cold water training that we did with the fire department, where they actually had a person go in the water for training to simulate a skater going in the water in a pond. We are actively working with the harbor master with mapping the Westport River to help them out with the boaters. We have been in contact with Horseneck Beach, the lifeguards there, as well as Cherry Webb lifeguards. I can't tell you how many times they do rescues every year regarding the rip current. So we look forward to deploying the drone come the spring to identify the general areas the rip currents are. So as a training module for both our lifeguards at Cherry Webb and the state lifeguards at Horseneck Beach. Just going over our 5-year crime statistics, which we've done last year. Accidents were generally the same. Arrests and warrants were down a little bit. Citations, we're up considerably. And there's one thing about citations. This is when an officer conducts a motor vehicle stop, they have 3 options to give the motorist. It's either a verbal, they have their discretion. It's either a verbal warning, a written warning, or a written citation, meaning a money. As you can see, we've written 1,597 citations. If we include the verbal warnings, we're over 2,000. So it's nice to see the officers using the discretion when they're conducting motor vehicle stops. Group A crimes, we talked about it my first year doing this. This is Group A are more violent crimes, such as break and entering, narcotic and weapon offenses, and assaults. Group B crimes that tend to be the less violent crimes, where somebody can either write a bad check, disorderly conduct, or operating under influence of a motor vehicle. Our incidents have risen. Our license to carries have gone down a little bit, but that tends to go around and around. What I mean by that is you get your license to carry every 6 years. So 1 year we could see a spike based on the amount of people that apply for a renewal or apply for a license to carry. And our restraining orders have gone up a little bit. Calls to service in our population, we're right around the same we were last year, with 22,802 for calls to service. Our miles patrolled, we've gone up by about 16,000 to 342,000 miles that we patrolled this year. Crime rate per 1,000 residents, we don't have an updated crime rate for this. We're trying to work with the crime analyst locally to get this information. We just weren't able to get it in time, but this is the crime rates from 2024 in a comparison of other communities. We continue very much so with a Bristol County outreach. We still have our 2 officers that are dedicated to the opioid crisis as well as the mental health crisis. They continue to go out to trained clinicians to provide outreach. As you can see, we've had 69 total events. This is the 9th 9% decrease over 2024, which is great to see. And if there's one thing I can say about the mental health aspect, we're definitely seeing a big positive outcome with this, where actually the officers that are going out, they're seeing a face to a name with the individual that has a mental crisis, and we're able to provide support to them, as well as not only to them, but also to their families. Deputy Chief Rebel has worked very hard with grants. We were able to secure an Edward Byrne grant through the JAG, or Justice Assistance Grant. This is able to help us offset the costs of our computers. When I mean computers, I don't mean the mobile data terminal computers in the cruiser. I mean updating our computers in-house, meaning our dispatch consoles, the computer in our classroom, the computer in the report writing rooms. We're able to provide that at a cost of $23,390, so it's a savings there. And Deputy Chief Rebel has been active with our Road Safety Management Grant Program. This is such grants as Click It or Ticket, Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over, which definitely helps us out during the holiday season, as well as Memorial Day and Labor Day. If there's one thing we continue to do, we're always actively seeking grants, with also knowing that grants, they're not a guarantee to have every year. So we try to do our diligence to know with grants that it could be a one-time opportunity, and we try to make best advantage of it. And lastly, just anticipated financial needs. Again, this is more of a capital improvement thing, but just to keep on everybody's radar. Eventually, we're going to need a new computer RMS and CAD system. The ones we're currently using is in basically Windows 96 platform. I know there's some communities in the area that are moving to different systems. We're actually met with one company. We're looking to meet with a few other companies. This to us is a year or two down the way, and it's definitely a significant cost. So we're trying to see the amount of cost savings that we can do for that. So that's kind of a brief, very brief synopsis of what we've done in 2025. If anybody has any questions, myself and Deputy Chief would be happy to answer.
Go ahead, Gary.
So, got an echo.
Yep, can just turn one of your volumes off, I think. Maybe you got both working now.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Let's see. Sorry about that. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. So right off the top, I just wanted, commend the chief for, this is a great presentation. I think it's great that the public sees what the accomplishment of the department's been. I think we can see now what a full complement does for the department. I know you've been instrumental in trying to get that passed, and so has the full committee. It's been some time. If you remember back a few years ago, we were looking at putting a one police officer on every single year, and I'm just happy that we've got to that point. Do you see an issue with the complement that we have now, and in future years maybe having to increase that? Because let's face it, we're taking on more development. We're having more streets to patrol. The town is quite large. You can be patrolling up towards Fall River and be at the point. So it is a big town. I just wondered if you could maybe weigh in a little bit on that.
Sure. So that's something we presented this year, an additional officer. We understand the town's under financial constraints. It's something that we're asking for. We asked for a 32nd officer. Jim proposed a budget with 31. You're 100% correct. We're a top 10 land-wise in the state. We have 64 square miles, 130 miles of roadway. And you're absolutely right. If you think about the geographical area, you could be at Whites of Westport and just think about how long it's going to take you to get to Cherry Beach. So, and now it's not only the infrastructure in the town, but also what's being put on our department. And that's something we could talk about in a few minutes, or I could talk about now. What I mean by that is, an arrest, everybody sees an arrest. They don't see what happens after the arrest. So there's a lot of hours that are being put in by officers regarding downloading data, downloading cameras. We are now under a time constraint when we have to submit this data to and all our discovery issues to the district attorney. So we had a detective who was they were doing a court prosecutor or police prosecutor, as well as doing evidence, and they were doing minor investigatory cases. to now they're just simply doing the court work. They can't take on any minor cases, which means our other two detectives now are taking on more cases. So that's just one area that we're looking at. One of the reasons why we're asking for an additional officer, but I can get into more that I put. Actually, I don't know if you have the budget presentation document that I submitted to the chair, which is actually, we kind of laid that out within there.
What is the cost of one additional officer?
$106,000. That includes a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. That's what we're seeing right now is everybody coming in with at least a bachelor's degree in criminal justice.
What was the amount again, Chief?
106,000.
For patrol?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hugh, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that it's probably really clear that the crime report does not include traffic stop citations and so forth. And the chief might expand a little bit on that.
Yeah, so that's another 2,000 interactions we have a year with the public. One of our major concerns that we receive a lot is traffic safety concerns of people speeding in their neighborhoods. We do have capability of conducting a study where we can speak to the person who filed the complaint about the speed in their town, and that study we can turn deploy officers to specific areas at specific times. To the biggest thing for us is it's not always about a speeding ticket. It's sometimes about educating the public, and that's something that we definitely want to convey to our officers. We do, and we think they do a great job in using their discretion when issuing either a verbal warning or a written citation.
Anything else, Hugh? No. So Chief Dunn, I did forward your presentation, your annual report to the committee. So and I know we don't have it up on the screen. So you've got a very detailed budget. And just looking at it, I know you mentioned there's one position that the town administrator excluded. So it looks as though, I don't know if that's something you can put on the screen or you don't need to, but it looks as though so your professional service line is down a bit, 2,503,000 versus your request, the department request of 2,583. And then it looks like overtime is down a little bit. So you had requested 311,000 and the town administrator budget has 290,000.
So
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Can
sure.
we put the budget up on the screen so we can see it on like the
I can,
detail?
on my end, if you'd like, I can put it up.
Sure.
Yeah, so we can, I've seen it, but I just don't.
Sure. Absolutely.
Thanks. Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
So the professional line items, our version reflects a 32nd officer. The version that Jim Hartnett proposed reflects 31 officers. When it comes to the overtime, ours has increased. It's risen a little bit, and one of the reasons why, and what we talked about in our discussion, what our presentation was, we wanted to hold 2 one-day combined active shooter trainings with the fire department. So under our overtime line item, that is a tune about $16,000, like $15,800. It's almost $2,000 for our dispatchers. We think this is extremely vital to have this type of annual training every year. In our discussion with Jim Hartnett, we decided to walk that back a little bit, and we're going to propose a warrant article this year through the town to ask for to have this funding through free cash. But this is something we would like to hold every year. We think it should be training that we should have every year in conjunction with our fire department. So we're basically on the same page, and we understand what they're seeing. They understand what we're seeing. I would like to thank Dr. Roy. The first year we're going to do it is at the junior senior high school. But as everybody knows, an active shooter can happen anywhere. In Maine, it was in a bowling alley. So we're looking at, in the future, we're looking at other locations. It could be the winery, it could be the brewery, it could be Whites of Westport, it could be, whatever business could be receptive to us having 2 one-day trainings there. So Like I said, it is a little bit more than what it was based on us initially projecting the overtime costs for 2 one-day active shooter trainings.
Great. Thank you for that explanation. So just, I was looking at all the numbers too. So, a couple of the numbers have floated up or down, but nothing
Sure.
of significance other than, as you mentioned, the one position and then now the overtime. So I think unless I missed something, everything else seems right in line with your department request. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, a lot of it's just contractual wage increases, especially on the expense side of it.
Great. Thank you. Hugh, go ahead. You've got your hand up.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a good idea to separate that particular event as a separate budget item in a sense, rather than just throwing in the general overtime. Because it's a particular issue for discussion at town meeting, and the warrant article does a good job of doing that.
Chief, is the warrant article expected to have other departments' expenses as well, or is it a warrant article just for your police overtime?
No, it's a combined police and fire overtime, where I
Okay,
believe, don't quote me, I believe it's approximately $30,000 or just under $30,000 between the police, meaning police officers, supervisors, dispatchers, as well as fire department. And what I mean by police personnel, fire department, I mean myself and Chief Baldwin are going to be actively involved. Where if we did have this type of incident, we would be at what's called the command center. And that's something that we will be at the command center doing our what would be our responsibilities along the way. So this is going to be a very much a combined effort. We've already had conversations with the fire department about this if this does pass, because we want to hold it in August when school's out of session. So if it does get past the town meeting, we have a short window. So we're trying to prepare for this now, and with hoping that it does get past the town meeting.
thank you, Chief. So Al Lees is here, just for the records, he joined us at 6:37. Hi, Al, how are you? And you got your hand up, and I think you might be muted. You are definitely muted.
You're still muted, Al.
Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm sure that my wife would love nothing better than to click a button and mute me,
That was
but
you button.
and anyway, I just want to reiterate what Hugh said, that this should be a separate line item. This is sadly in today's world a reality, I guess you could say. And it's a necessity, I believe. So, I'm all in favor of, a line item, a separate line item that funds active shooter, whether it is in schools, sadly, or businesses or whatever. I just can't emphasize it enough. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions for the chief? Nancy, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
The active shooter, do you bring in somebody from the outside as part of that training? And is that, so is that somewhere else on the line item because you have your overtime for your people?
So that's a great question. So we're not hiring. I mean, we are having an expert come in. What I mean by an expert, there's a retired Dartmouth police officer by the name of Craig Pimentel. Craig Pimentel was, for years, was the SWAT team commander for our regional Summit SWAT team. He has a ton of knowledge in it. He just got hired with us as a reserve, and he's been more than willing to help out regarding a scenario-based, regarding active shooter, where we actually are mitigating the cost. We're not hiring somebody from an out of state to come in to hold the training. Craig has done this in numerous communities. So it's a huge asset for our department to have somebody with this caliber of knowledge willing to help us out.
Okay, so because I know that there's like grants out there for active shooter training, and I have no idea. Every time that everybody says a grant, it's a lot harder to get than
Sure.
easy.
So I don't know of any grants to date that are out there. I do know a lot of the grant-based training for these active shooters tend to be multi-community trainings, meaning if you have 3 or 4 communities that want to do it, they're more apt to get the grant, where it's just one singular community. For this year, I think it's kind of a crawl, walk, run thought to this, meaning the first year it should be with just us and our fire department. If we can expand upon it in the future, we can include a neighboring community like Dartmouth, where we can explore a grant. I would be absolutely 100% on board. But I think at least for the first year, it should be a low level, meaning it's just us and the fire department, where we understand what the fire department doing. Excuse me, the fire department understand what we're doing before we kind of break out a little bit further.
No, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great program, but the expansion of it, I'm glad that you mentioned it, because if we have something like that happen, just as if Dartmouth was, you folks would be helping them. They
Sure.
would be helping us. We both have very large land masses with only so many bodies to cover
Correct.
the area.
Yeah, so just full disclosure, we do cross-train annually with the Dartmouth Police Department twice a year. And we do go over active shooter trainings. So we understand, we work in conjunction, meaning what we do when we enter a building. So we do it every year with them in May, and then we have another joint training that we do with them in the fall. So that has been going on for years. I wish I could take credit for it, but that's not something I've thought about. That's something that Craig, I just mentioned his name, has thought about for the past 10 to 12 years. We've been doing it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But I do want to give you guys credit for thinking of doing this and instituting it, et cetera. So very good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for? I don't see any hands up. If everybody hasn't had a chance to, and I don't know where this lands, but the annual report that you submitted, Chief, is fantastic. So that has, I know it's good. I believe that it gets incorporated in the town's full annual report, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how long that takes for that compilation. I don't know if that's another 6 months away or whatever, but this is, it would be a disservice to not have this information released sooner publicly until, so I don't know how we can get your information out to the public so they can see it individually. So I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
Go ahead. Hey, Chris.
Hi there, good evening. So we're compiling all that. The deadline to submit annual reports, I believe it's actually this week, and it'll be out hopefully well before town meeting. So I'll have
Okay.
time with all the other reports.
Great, thank you. And as with any document that is discussed here at the Finance Committee or at the Select Board, it's a public document, so it's certainly, if anybody requests it, I'm not sure we have much of a means to put it out there, but it's certainly available to the general public if anybody wants to see it beforehand. So, great, thank you. Does anyone else have anything else for Chief or the Deputy? No. Well, both of you, thank you so much for coming in and everything you do, and your presentation was terrific. So appreciate everything you do.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
for having us. We appreciate
Gentlemen.
it and your
All right.
continued support. We really do.
Thank you all.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
All right. So our next budget that we're going to discuss is the town clerk and register of voters. And I believe our town clerk is here. Let's see.
Hello, everybody.
Ah, there she is. There are a lot of boxes. I didn't see you. Hi
Yeah.
there.
I figured if I talked, I'd pop up.
You did. Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice to see you.
nice to see you. How's everybody doing? Good? Yeah, great.
Good.
So I didn't put together as much of a presentation or any presentation because this year I actually don't have a lot of significant changes on my budget. I know the last couple years I was tightening up the way I was handling things and which categories they were going in, that sort of stuff. And this year I think it's pretty straightforward, but I can go over whatever you would like me to go over with you.
Maybe let's I'm going to call your budget up while you're speaking. So I can
Yeah,
just-
that sounds good.
were there any requests that you made that the town administrator was not able to incorporate it into the budget, or are you in alliance with?
No, we were in alliance this year. Everything, like I said, was pretty straightforward. Some of my categories went down because my staff changed. So the staff that was there had some higher salaries, and now I've hired newer staff. So the salaries are a little bit down, but they'll grow over the years. But we're kind of starting at lower rates with some of those. I've lowered the tuition and training because I have found that a lot of it aligns with elections and pretty busy times, and I'm not sure how often we can exit. I don't want to leave for an extended period of time this year while I'm training a new staff, and I will send them to some things, but some of them aren't directly related to their positions. So I rolled back the training a little bit this year. Most of the other things are just shifts, putting things in the right categories. Like I have postage in some places that used to just be a combination of a lot of different things. Like we used to have election and town meeting all combined into one thing without an explanation of where things were. On my budget, I added this year a breakdown of what the elections cost and the election budget a little bit clearer, because I don't know if anybody's ever really done that for you guys so directly. So that breaks down what each election this year should cost and where those expenses go, that sort of thing. So I don't know who has had a chance to look at it, and I can't access it, so I can't pull it up from this computer right now. So I don't know if you can, Karen.
Not as, if I try to, then I can't focus on the meeting, so I try not to.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
But you did send it to
I
me,
sent
and I
it,
did put it
yeah.
in the folder, so
Yeah.
just looking, I have it on my screen here,
Mhm.
and so it's, the state primary is 16,000, the state election 16,000, the 2027 town election is 13,680.
Right.
So that's a good gauge of every election costs 14 to 16,000, right?
Right.
I have a question about the elections.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Kristen, I know in the past you had mentioned about consolidating the polling places. Are
Yeah.
you going to be able to implement that to cut down on your costs?
I wanted to this year, but unfortunately I was unable to get approval from the schools this year to combine. I think as long as the old schools building is not determined, the new school is not willing to allow me to combine the precincts into the new school, because I think that their ultimate hope is that I don't do that, which would mean that I can't do it for a year there and then change it again, because that would cost thousands and thousands of dollars
sure.
for the town.
Sure.
So I have to hold back until I know whether or not I can maybe do it in the new building. And if I cannot, then I need to regroup and talk to the school committee and Fran Roy again. But Fran
Because I
currently
thought
said,
that,
no, it's not going to work for now.
right. I thought that they were going to have a professional development day on the election day and hold that at the elementary school so you could use the
Right.
new school for the multiple polling places. I mean, there really would be a significant, savings in the consolidation of police
It's-
poll workers, all of it.
And even me just being in one place and being
Right.
really available, like for the 2024 election where we had a machine breakdown and I'm driving from one area to another while residents are waiting, voters are waiting to vote. That kind of thing wouldn't happen the same way if I was in the building with all 5 precincts. So there are definitely a lot of advantages to it, and I've been working towards it, and I've met with the school board and I've met with Fran Roy, and at this point they're just not quite there yet. So
Okay, all right, but you're still working on it.
Oh
You're
yeah,
still
I
working
haven't
on it.
given up on it. I just think that we have to
Give it
regroup
some
and at
time.
least have one answer before I can move on. But whenever I do that, it will have to be close. It'll have to be decided before a before the census in order to save us the cost of mailing every voter.
Yeah,
Because I am allowed to put it in the census as a notice. If it's all going to one
Ah.
precinct, I can send it at the same time, which
Right.
will save thousands and thousands of dollars.
yeah, the cost of,
per
the
person.
cost of postage has certainly gone up, so,
Right.
anytime you can save
Right.
a whole mailing to all of the voters, that's
Yeah,
significant.
if I send it to every single household in the census, which is allowed, I will be able to just do it as an insert like I've been doing, except for without all the other information. It'll just be a notice that says, hey,
Right,
your precinct is now here.
right,
So
good.
that'll
Okay.
save money for everyone. So
Well, good luck with that.
yeah, thanks. I hope it works out.
Kristen, I kind of missed a little of, I got a little lost in what you said. Could you just repeat again? Are we saying is it the old high school, since that hasn't been determined, this is affecting?
So I
Yeah.
had requested to consolidate the precincts into the new high school and them have a teacher day, something else, however they wanted to do it, because they would need to close the school every time I had an election. And the main reason, one, the state recommends it, highly recommends it. And two, there isn't parking. So if all of the kids who drive to school and, you know, all of the teachers there, then there wouldn't be enough parking for the residents. So I had wanted to do it in the new school because I knew it would meet the handicap accessibility. But unfortunately, that just isn't working out this year. And I think that what's really holding us back is it's not that the school will never say yes. It's that as long as there's this other possible option, I don't think they want to commit. You know, I think once it's determined, if we were to say, no, absolutely not, we are not using the old school for anything, then they may be willing to consider me using the new school.
Thank you. Thanks. I just missed some of the story. So I got a little, you got halfway through and I went, wait, I'm confused. So thank you. Now I get it. So thank you.
No problem.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Nancy.
Thank you. So the pushback from the schools, to be clear, and I'm
Mhm.
trying to understand it, is they have so many days that they can have off. They have professional development days and they have to have the kids in school. So the schedule is built before the year starts with snow days and so many professional days, and they have to extend the year for any additional day. So their pushback is that where are they going to do a professional development day if the old high school isn't there anymore? Is that their pushback of saying we can work this into the schedule?
So they're still going to do professional development days. I just think that they didn't align very well with the elections at this point. Like, so they were very bad days for professional development days. Like the first, we have an election right at the beginning of September, you know, and it's like the day after they start school. Like, so I think that there's just a lot of pushback right now. If it's at the old school, then they won't have to close at all for these days. So they can just keep to their own schedules. So I think that's part of it. And I mean, it's an ongoing discussion. So I can't really speak to the full mindset of everybody involved, but it's just an ongoing discussion at this point. But I know it won't happen for 2026, which is what I was hoping for, since we do have state elections this year, but it's not going to happen this
Yeah,
year.
I figured that the September would be the issue because they just get back to school and then it would be the day. So, yeah. What would you estimate being the savings that you would see if you
You know,
consolidated it versus where it's at? I know that easier for you to be there and machines
Yeah.
breaking down, but I'm talking about a cost estimate.
Yeah, so I had sorted that out, but I don't have the number here. I honestly can't even think of it right at this moment. I apologize for just being
No,
so.
no, I mean, I just, in the future though, it would be kind
But
of
yeah,
good
I
to
can
know.
email you guys because I do have that information. I worked it out when I put together information for the school board, so I can look those numbers up. But mostly the cost is reduction of some poll workers. You still are required to have a certain number per precinct, but there are some consolidations there. But the biggest savings is the police presence. Yeah,
Okay.
because that is very, very expensive. That's one of our highest cost are the
So
police.
having the police at each, like 5 polling stations versus 1 would dramatically.
Right, because you definitely do not need 10 officers throughout the day if they're in one location.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thanks. So Kristen, then we have your second budget, right? Or did your registrar?
Yeah, the registrar is the election. So the town clerk, if you have questions about the town clerk,
Yep.
that really hasn't changed significantly at all, really.
Right.
It
It looks like you need to just have one line item that's machine maintenance, right? That you haven't had before. or
Right,
recently.
yeah, but that was factored into, wait, machine maintenance is, no, that's back to the, that's back to the, elections.
Right.
So the machine maintenance has always been a cost. It just was added into the election ballot assembly and election town meetings. So if you know, I'm actually going to leave those categories. I'm keeping them for reference, but I no longer want to use those for itemizing because they're not clear. They're just vague. They were just throwing everything kind of in there. So I added on the election machine maintenance coding. It is more expensive this year. The machine maintenance has gone up each year, but that's all it is. It's a shift of where that's located.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And then anything else on there? Let's see. Office supplies, I'm just lowering because I don't think that most years we really need that many office supplies. I don't know. I can be a little thrifty, to be honest with you. So I'm just, I'm like, I don't think we really need that.
There's
So-
not much there, right? Your
Right,
budget's
yeah,
not
it's-
that high,
there
right?
isn't much
So-
there. We don't have a huge budget,
Right.
but I
I
try to
don't
work.
think right. I don't think we need to fight over $20 here or there, right?
Right. Yeah. So.
Does anyone have any other questions on Kristen's two budgets?
Hugh Morton, not really a
Thank you.
question, but I'm under the impression a number of things are going online, like beach passes and other. I'm under the impression that's been pretty successful, but I just want to ask you about it, what you're feeling.
So the beach passes have been very successful. They're really saving our office a significant amount of time, although we do still manually process them, and there's still a lot of things that come up. But I think as the years go on, they'll get better because we spend a lot of time with people sending us expired licenses and things like that. But I think that every year, the more people do it, the less that will happen. And even I have noticed already this year, we've had less calls of us walking people through it. I'm always willing to walk people through how to do the process. And I made a couple videos to kind of get people starting with it. So I think that that's helping. If people have questions, I can send them a video and then say, oh, that's what you're talking about. Because sometimes it takes a lot more time over the phone. We are adding a lot. We have Hicks Bridge and Route 88. We have a lot of things online this year that we didn't even have last year. So we'll see how those all go. It's going well. We didn't sell a ton of them. You might note that my postage went down significantly. It's because when I put the postage in there, it's because I thought I was going to be paying for more of the beach passes, but then that got shifted to the beach committee. So you might notice that on their budget. But I still have to have some of it because we do mail all of the items out to people. So if they order anything through our office, we mail that out. But that's fine. Honestly, the residents pay for, if they want something mailed, they pay for that. So it's, or they
That's
can
great.
pick them off and pick them up in the office.
I think it's great. It takes some burden off your office and it makes it easier for the citizens of the town. That's a wonderful combination.
Yeah, and I like to offer it as an option. It's not, you know, obviously I strongly encourage the beach passes to be done online just because they are very time consuming. And honestly, you get a temporary pass as soon as we process it. So people don't have to wait as long while we're processing them. But also we are very, particularly with all of the other permits, the dog permits, where this is an option. It is, you know, it's something to help the residents and it does help our office, but we also like to see people. So, you know, if people want to come in and get their dog license, we're here for you, you know. But I know a lot of people, it helps our office hours are not 8:30 to 4 are not necessarily conducive to people who are working full-time jobs. So this gives a lot of options for people.
I have one follow-up question regarding things that you're able to do so much more online now. Do you find that you have sufficient tech support, given how reliant you are now to online processing?
So, yeah, I mean, I think that I can reach Keith whenever I really need to reach him. Nathan is willing to help. I am not going to, honestly, I'm somewhat tech savvy. So I haven't run across it a lot, but I do feel confident that if I have an issue, then I could reach out to them. And also if my staff needs them, you know, if I'm out of town or something like that and they're having an issue, I do feel like there's access pretty easily to somebody to help.
Right. And usually the first rule of thumb is when in doubt, reboot, right? Usually
Right.
rebooting will solve a lot of problems
Right.
in of itself. So, okay, good. Because, you know, as we are getting more and more online, you know, I'm always concerned what happens if we have a tech failure or you don't feel like your equipment is,
Right.
you know, powerful enough to be able to handle that. So certainly keep that in mind going forward.
Yeah. So we also have, we are doing all of the city hall systems, those online options, but the state systems are all changing over. So like we have a new voter registration system that was just implemented today. So that's a whole new training piece and everything it's completely different. So that started today and it's laggy.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll, you know, tweak that a little bit. And then we have a new system for our death records and for all of the burial permits. And we do a lot in our office, but a lot of the state systems are changing currently. So that's part of our training process as well, as I learn new things and then I teach my staff.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Kristen? Doesn't look that way. Well, thank you again for coming in, Kristen. We appreciate all the improvements that you've made over the last few years, including the website and the postings that are on the town website. And all of those things are huge improvements. A little at a time is starting to make a big difference. So well noticed and well appreciated.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
I appreciate all of you. And send me an email if you have any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, so our next and last budget of the evening is the town treasurer, collector, and debt. Is Susan here? Susan.
Yep, she's there.
Susan, are you with us?
Yeah,
she's
she's
here?
down there.
All right, she's still muted, so she might be,
Yeah, you're on mute.
you know, making a cup of tea.
No, she's. Susan, can you hear us? I don't know if she's trying to talk. Your computer is on mute. I can see her.
You can see her.
Yes.
Really?
You don't have her box?
No,
I can see her too. Do you want
Yeah.
to send her a chat saying that maybe she
Yeah.
doesn't?
Susan, can you hear us? Wave to us if you can hear us. No, she's not. No. Yeah, she's trying to call someone. So I think she's having some difficulty. Maybe this is her dialing in.
Maybe it's like that game show, Call a Friend. She's doing right now.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
I'm trying to move around my boxes. I don't actually see her. Um,
Oh, you don't actually see her, Karen, on your
No.
boxes?
no,
Yeah, she's there. If she just, we can see her on the computer, but she should just
Can
unmute
you
it.
hear me now?
Yes.
yes, we can hear you.
You
Okay.
can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. My speaker was giving me some, my microphone wasn't working too well. So,
Ah.
All
Okay.
right, we gotcha.
so I guess we have two budgets, the treasurer collector and the debt. Where would you like to start?
About the treasurer collector.
Alrighty. That one's pretty straightforward. As usual, it's contractual increases and anticipated increases for postage, increases on other services that we have, payroll service, et cetera, that anticipated increases of that nature. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as last time.
Right, so we just got your budgets today, so I'm looking at it right now for the first time, but I know they're pretty simple budgets. So it looks like your budget for postage is really the big increase, going from 36,500 to 50,000. Otherwise, your expenses are pretty flat, other than the contractual salary increases and whatnot.
Right, and the postage, they have been going up every year, it seems like, and now they're going up a couple of times a year. So I may have pushed that one a little bit extra, but we do have a tremendous amount of mailing we do for both offices. There's the postage, I pay, of course, postage for the printer that mails out our bills, but even in the treasurer's office, we have a lot of forms that we have to mail out. We have twice a year open enrollment, one for retirees, one for active employees. We have W-2s, we have I-9s, we have ACA information, things like that that we have to mail out. And also, we're cutting about 250 checks every 2 weeks at least, sometimes more than that, to mail out to our vendors. So it's a tremendous amount that we mail.
So have you considered, are you at all looking at doing ACH payments rather than paper checks and mailing? Because that would save some significant postage.
We only do ACH for certain large payments at this time. For example, Southeastern Mass Health Group, that goes through ACH. Things of that nature. And it's not practical to do everything ACH. We have a lot of vendors that are paid once, tax refunds, things of that nature. And so, of course, a lot of that type of payment is not even practical to consider that way.
But none of the salaries are done by check anymore, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Everything is on direct deposit on salaries.
Susan,
Did
have you
say
ever,
250 checks? I'm sorry, did you say
Pardon?
250 checks a week? Is that what you said?
Biweekly.
Biweekly? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Al, sorry.
oh, that's quite all right. I was just wondering, Susan, if you had ever considered saving money by not sending out tax bills.
That would make a tremendous number of people very happy, including myself, actually.
Well, I mean, just back to the check mailing. So 250 checks, I work in a finance office too. And so 250 paper checks that have to be printed and signed and stuffed and mailed and filed is a lot of time that also gets spent with that too. So I know not every vendor can be an ACH, and it doesn't need to be all or nothing, right? But if you can get your recurring vendors on ACH, you might be able to cut that 250 checks down pretty significantly. And usually the banking fees are really not that much, probably maybe not at all, depending on what your banking is and how they give you all these free credits to get more services. So it just might be something to consider, that could really be a big savings for time and postage for you.
I find it, especially with, I definitely consider it more for especially the larger checks that get mailed, these days. But like I say, right now, of course, all debt service and, the health insurance is done that way.
Okay.
Mhm. Great, thank you. Anybody have anything else on the treasurer budget? I know we might not have had much of a chance to look at it today, but I don't see anything else. Really, everything else seems pretty flat between your approved budget. It seems like the town administrator's budget and your request are in alignment. I don't see that you have any differences or discrepancies. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Okay.
Alrighty, so I guess we'll move on to debt.
Debt.
And debt is what it is. For right now, our excluded debt is $2,360,000, $4,055,488. And that is for the fire station, the police station, and the schools, including the school roof. In addition to that, we have excluded debt that is being changed around a little bit this year, an additional $947,329. That is our excluded debt for Bristol, Aggie, and Diamond. Their debt is not actually a debt assessment. It gets reported on the DE1 as excluded debt for the town, but it's actually supposed to be on the budgets under the school assessment, regional school assessment, because it is an assessment to the town. Our auditors have been after us on that. So this year it should be on the budget, technically under school assessment.
Okay.
And then we have non-excluded debt, just the
Susan,
basic
one second.
Yes.
I think Gary's got his hand up, so, Gary,
okay.
you want to ask a question?
Sue, as far as the estimates for Diamond, where are you getting those now? I know it's preliminary. Are you, have you got some kind of amortization schedule for the complete project?
No.
How,
Diamond has been the hardest place for me to get information from. And as a matter of fact, they have a tendency, they change budgets in the middle of the year. Oh, we did some additional borrowing and stuff. I can't wait for once the project is fully done, we will have amortization schedules for what's there. But right now, we just don't have any estimates.
so at this point, we don't even know what Westport, we don't know what Westport's complete contribution will be going forward. Is that?
That is correct.
I mean, that's a big, I think that's something that's, that could, and I mentioned this at last meeting, to have them in, to have
Right,
Diamond.
We've extended the invitation to them, Gary. I haven't heard back as to what date they're choosing.
Okay,
It'll be
so,
in sometime in February.
okay, so that's positive. I think that, you know, this, along with everything else, needs to be discussed. That probably the school's being built. There's nothing that at this point we can do, but it would be great for planning purposes to know what that dollar amount's gonna be going forward. As far as that's one thing. As far as the Clean Water Trust debt that's out here now, is the general fund picking up the payments on that? How is that divvied? Do we have I don't remember if we have a stabilization, not a stabilization, an enterprise fund established where those funds are coming out of?
Okay. The Clean Water Trust, we have two sets of Clean Water Trust loans. We have 4 that are closed out for the septic betterments, and those funds are paid from, that's outside of debt. So those funds for those payments come from the people paying back their septic betterments. We also
Okay, that's
have.
they're being paid the users, okay.
Right, those are from the users. We also have a Clean Water Trust loan for $150,000, which was for the it's something the Board of Health did as in preparation for these loans. It was a water management plan or something that they had to do, so they needed the $150,000 for that study or whatever it was they did, and that is coming out of our budgets. That's the $9,919 for this year.
Okay, so general fund expense.
Right.
Okay, so
Right,
I just
but
wanted to
the
make
re-
sure that, I just wanted to make sure that all the septic loans, like you have the 250, the 250, the $500,000 and the $500,000 are being borne by the rate users. In essence, that's what we're saying.
Correct. Correct. And the 3 things that are out of the general fund is the the police station.
Yep.
They borrowed in additional monies after we had voted the main portion of they needed additional funds, another 1.3 million, and that was not excluded. So that portion comes out of the budget or out of the general fund. The Clean Water Trust for the Board of Health and the school PCB cleanup was not
How much longer do
excluded.
we have on how much longer do we have on the cleanup? Do you know?
Yes, I do. Hold on, I have that on another sheet here. The PCB cleanup, fortunately, the payment is fairly small, but that will be on there until 2032.
How much is that annual payment?
The PCB, this year, it's 214,852.
That's a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
So I think what, I just want to clarify, Gary, a point that you made about the diamond, since we don't have any information yet about what the debt's going to be. And Gary, you made a comment about for planning purposes, and I agree, but it is excluded debt. So it's not going to come out of the town's budget, but it's excluded debt. So it's going to come out of our taxpayers' pockets.
Right.
So I think that, it would be nice to know how much that's going to be and what the tax effect is going to be so that residents can know that at some point their tax bill is going to go up by a certain amount for that. We keep having projects that may or may not happen and they are excluded debt, which will add to the taxpayer's tax bill. And everyone keeps asking, well, there's going to be things rolling off that will neutralize it. And there really aren't a lot of things that are rolling off, and things that might roll off are very, very small amounts of debt. So it won't even really be noticeable. But things are piling on and adding to it. And so I think that's an important piece. If we could kind of get some clarity on it's a schedule of what the excluded debt is for the number of years to show that there's no relief coming in 5, 6, 7 years. So we're only adding to it, not taking
Yeah.
away. I think that's.
Yeah, that's that's my point. I think that it'd be good for the residents and the taxpayers of town to see that. Not only when we talk about a school budget, we also have to include, Aggie, we have to include Diamond. So I want to make sure that when we talk about the schools, that people don't think, oh, well, that amount includes the Westport Public Schools. There are other components of the school budget. And so I think people have a misconception of, well, we're giving all this money to the Westport schools. That's inaccurate. I think that for schools, it's X amount, but a large substantial portion of that is Diamond and Aggie. So I think that to be clear to the residents, we have to kind of show that going forward. And I'm happy we're going to meet with Diamond.
The original figure that I think we had as an estimate for Diamond was around between 550 and 600 a year, when everything was said and done for Westport. However, having said that, the estimate was also done back during COVID and so forth, and they were using a borrowing cost of something like 2.5% or 3%.
Right.
And rates are
Well,
going up.
That's right. No, it's higher. So.
Right.
Okay.
And to further, I mean, a resident, what you just said, Susan, a resident has no idea what that means to what that's going to come out of their pocket. Right. So
Right.
that's, so that's the important piece. Is it $50 a year? Is it $100 a year? That's what we need when we talk about the principal and interest payments that are going to be made. That's one thing, but the resident,
Couldn't agree more.
right?
Yeah,
How much is it going to cost?
And these projects get voted, a year ago, 2 years, and then all of a sudden it hits a tax bill 3 years from now. And people are like, what is this?
Right.
People are not going to remember, oh, well, we're building a, $300 million school.
Right. And they haven't, so the taxes have not seen that increase yet. And so that is going to be forthcoming. So I think that's an important piece for people to understand.
Yep. Thanks, Sue.
The next thing that will be rolling off of the debt schedule will be the fire station. That final payment will be made in 2030. So, and that, for
How much
this
is
year,
that?
the
How much
fire
is that?
station,
How much is
for
that?
this year, it's 335,650.
Okay, so that's only 3 or 4 years away. So that's good to know. I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing fiscal 27 now, so that is good to know. That will at least offset a little bit of the Diamond increase when that starts to filter through. So at least there will be a little bit that will come off before then.
Correct.
Okay.
Go ahead, Al.
No, Hugh was,
Oh,
Hugh
sorry.
was in there first. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Hugh. I
I'm
missed
just
you.
gonna ask the question that Sarah just answered.
You're all set then, Hugh?
All set.
Okay. I just want to make the point that rolling off, though, from a taxpayer relief standpoint, we seem to, and for good or for bad, roll in other things, and we look at rolling off and in, and at what point does the taxpayer get some relief, which I think was, a comment made earlier. Rolling out of something and into something is not relief. It's just, well, it's what it is. So I don't have an answer for it, but I just feel that at some point, maybe we should just take a breather, for gosh sakes, and not roll out and in of anything, and just give the taxpayer a break.
Yeah, I mean, like even our high school final payment's going to be around 2053.
Well, I'll be dead then, so it won't matter.
Yeah,
to
I
me
hear
then.
you.
Well, just don't forget, we've got the white elephant at the top of Main Road. That's going to cost something. I don't know whether it's going to be $5 million or $50 million, but we're not getting away for $0 on that. So No matter
Yeah.
what we do is gonna cost something. So that's the white elephant that, we're gonna have to deal with sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Al, to your point, and I don't want to quote numbers because I don't want to make something up even as an example, but if the fire station, I think Susan, you said is about $500,000 a year. Is that
Closer to 350.
okay? So 350, and if the new diamond, which we don't know, is maybe 2.5 million a year, right? So
No,
You're
it was
gonna have-
550. No, that was 550.
that was 550.
Yes,
Yes.
that was their original estimate, but that was also based on lower borrowing rates. And they also increased the total amount that they were going to be borrowing for the project after we originally got those estimates.
So maybe
although-
it's 700, 750, something
Right.
like that.
So if for every dollar that rolls off, 2 is going to come on. So
Right.
is how that's going to work. Just in the math that we just said, right? Just rough. So every dollar that comes off for the fire station, 2 will come on for the next one. So
But it's
We're
better
not-
than having no dollars roll off.
yeah, no,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But right, because we keep talking about things are rolling off, but things are also rolling on. So more things are rolling on than off.
But the impact is at least mitigated.
Yes.
But let's remember, we have no control over Diamond. So
Right.
we can be worried about it, et cetera, but there's nothing we can do about it.
No, and I think the point is, Hugh, there's nothing we can do about it, but just making sure our residents understand what their tax bills are
Well,
gonna
I
look like.
agree, all
Yeah,
of
that's
all
all.
of that, I said, but
That's all.
nice to have a little bit of leeway from something we no longer have to pay, even though we're picking up more of which we do have to pay, but the pickup is not optional. So it's nice to let people know what's going on, but we can't change it.
Right. The only thing that can be changed is the residents have information. So whenever they decide to vote for or not for a future project, they can understand what impact they've already committed to and they've committed to that might not even have impacted them yet. So they can,
So fair enough.
those
I
are important
agree with
decisions.
the information part. Just-
Yeah.
We're stuck with Diamond and nothing we can do about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, Susan, anything else on that?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Anything else for Susan?
Nope.
Susan, nice to see you. We haven't seen you in a few meetings, but welcome back.
Nice to see you. Thank
All
you.
right, take care. Thank
Nice
you.
to-
Take
Bye,
care.
Have a good night.
Susan.
And I have Barry and stereophonics, so that's even better.
She's your cousin.
All right, so the next item on the agenda, this is is on every agenda, just in case there's an update, and I don't believe there is an update. So that's the fiscal 2027 budget discussion with the town administrator. I don't believe anything new has happened, but we keep it on our agenda just in case. So this way we have the opportunity to talk about it.
Is there
Um,
anything, is there anything the town
there
administrator
anything?
wants to add? Yeah.
Yeah,
Just that there are going to be a couple of additional updates, as we head into the end of the month. Next select board meeting is on the 26th. My hope is to capture all those updates and, have that ready for the board at that point in time. And so, when that's ready, certainly I'll get a courtesy copy over so that it can be ready for your upcoming meetings as well.
great. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we'll get right through here. The next item is if there's anyone has any committee or liaison updates they'd like to provide.
No updates.
I understand the audit is almost complete, so we'll have an audit committee meeting coming up. Probably within the next, month or so. Nicole said that they were done and they should expect to see the letter soon. So we'll see how that goes.
No, you raise a very good point because I think we had voted that you were going to roll off and Nancy was going to roll on. Of which I
Well, this year, my appointment ends June of this year. So
Okay.
I'm gonna just fill this term and then that's
Okay,
it.
great.
And then-
Perfect. Okay.
Then,
'Cause
then I'll turn it over to someone else.
Okay, perfect. Because I didn't send, I wasn't sure if you were resigning during your term or not, so I never sent
Yeah.
anything to the select board. So, okay, so you'll
Right.
stay through June and then, okay.
And then I'll turn it
Perfect.
over.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Go ahead, Gary.
Is there a sense of where capital is? Has that
Um,
voted on
yes.
for cap?
I think, it might be in my email. So I believe the Capital Improvement Committee did make its recommendations. The select board did
Yes.
discuss it did I not put it in the folder this year? Did I not put it in there? I thought I did, but, let me look.
So that's been finalized. That's finalized.
Yeah, it's usually the end of January, but it got done a little bit early, I think probably because Jim.
We
was-
were, yes, we were early and very not adamant, that's not the right word, but focused on the number 1, 2, and 3 when it came to the capital improvements, expenditures.
So were all those, I guess the question is, were all those, items, that were 1, 2, and 3 priority, were they able to be funded and were they funded through, free cash? How
Yeah,
was it?
unfortunately, Gary, my worst fear, the word free cash, but yes, it was, they were all being able to be funded. And I think there was a fairly significant amount of money left over beyond the capital expenditures.
Okay, do we know what?
I'll put the presentation and everyone in the folder, so we can talk about it at a future meeting too, so we all have it. So, and I do have some questions on the memo and the presentation, but it's not really on our agenda for tonight to talk about the capital improvement. So,
So
we can-
Karen, can we add that to if there's room, and you'd have to decide that, but could we add that to either next meeting or the meeting after that, just so we can look at what the requests were?
I will, absolutely. And what I'll do on the next agenda, so right now I have the standing item is the budget discussion. So I'll also add the standing item for any warrant articles. So this way, if any warrant article comes up, we can start to talk about it. So, this
Yeah.
way we're covered. And then if we want to talk about the capital improvement specifically, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to see what was approved and what didn't get approved. I don't know if we can get that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Gary. I'd like to see the things that didn't get approved also.
Right.
And I'm not sure the memo has that in there. So, also a 5-year capital plan is what, the bylaws say that is supposed to be provided to, so we can see the future of what's in front of us as well. So I think there's a few things that, we can talk about on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll put that on the next week. So this way we've got a standing discussion for any warrant article. Go ahead, Nancy.
Sorry. So since I'm gonna, I was put on the audit committee after Cindy goes, is it possible for me to sit in that audit meeting and not say anything, just to kind of, I'm in a listening thing. I think I'd be more effective just to.
It's open to the public. Generally, they're not recorded. There just doesn't seem to be any interest, but we do meet in person at Town Hall, and I will certainly let you know the date. So you're welcome to come. Anyone is welcome to attend the meeting. So you don't have to sit there silently.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That would be difficult for me anyway.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything about that.
Well, I'm just trying to get over the learning curves, that's all.
All right, that's fine. We would welcome your attendance.
Thanks.
They're pretty snoozers, but they're snoozers of meetings. But you learn a lot. You learn a lot.
Thanks.
Well, it's a good thing they're snoozers, because that means there's not significant audit issues. So that's a good thing.
Right. 4 years ago, they were not.
They were not snoozers before.
No, we were sitting on the edge of our seat wondering what was going to happen next, but
Right.
everything is under control now.
Yeah, thanks. All
Karen,
right,
you
so-
were gonna bring up the thing about the conflict of interest training.
Oh, thank you so much. So, each year we all have
2
to do-
years, every 2 years.
Well, each year we have to do something. So each year there's a larger version of, and then the other year you do a small
All right.
recertification. So every year we've got something. So every year it's for, and we're all in a different cycle. So I know for me personally, I have to do the full conflict of interest this year because last year I just did the little reaffirmation thing. So I received it in my email just as a reminder from the state. And so you all should have received that also.
Good.
And so
Yeah, I
just
have
give
that.
it- what's that?
I have to add reminders.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and so we, I think we should be, once we do it, we should be submitting our information to the town clerk to, or at least to us that we're all in accordance with the conflict of interest. So I think previously, the previous town moderator was collecting them, so.
I
we should
sent
do
my,
that.
do you want me to send it to you as well, Karen?
You sent it to the town clerk?
Yeah.
You look at you, Zach.
The email was helpful, it's all there. It was just the patience to sit through some of those slides.
Good for you.
I know it's one of those things that you can't cheat on. You actually have to go through the
Yeah, I
whole
know, you have to
1
get to the
hour.
They
end.
make you do it. Yeah, yeah. That's great. I mean, we should all just can send it directly to town clerk. That'd be great.
Okay.
We should actually have Kristen fill it out for all of us, and that way we don't need to torture ourselves.
That's all. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you for the reminder, Cindy. All right. So next item on the agenda, I did not get a chance to look at the minutes to revise the December one. So if we could just pass over the minutes, that would be fantastic. And hopefully next week we can catch up. I have no correspondence that came through, so nothing there. So next meeting is next week, January 20th. We're going to have the fire, recreation, assessors, and planning board. And then on the 27th of January, we have the beach committee, highway, town accountant. And then on February 3rd, we have Westport Community Schools. I guess we should figure out on the 3rd. In the past, we tried to do the Westport Community Schools in person since there might be so many. Just trying to get a sense of what we're thinking about for that. Are we all in favor of an in-person meeting on the 3rd for the school?
I think that would be great.
Okay, great. Since there's so many of us and if school committee members and the school departments there, it's hard to manage with this meeting. So I think that'd be great. I'll set it, I can set it up as hybrid also. So this way, if somebody cannot attend in person, then they can at least come on. But the preference for our committee would be that we do attend unless someone's sick or traveling and can't.
So Karen, just keep in mind, you need to have someone that knows how to drive at the meeting.
Yes,
So-
I'll ask Chris. So I
Okay.
think Chris is, I'm sure will be in attendance there and then I'm sure he'll be an expert. So I'll ask Chris. But yes, because I am not an expert on how to set anything up and manage the hybrid as we're having the meeting. So that's hard to do. All right, great. Let's see. I don't think topics for next meeting. We got it. I've got nothing that happened within 48 hours notice. And so unless anyone has anything else they want to add.
I just wanted to ask Chris a quick
Yeah.
question. Chris, have you found that our systems here in Westport are very antiquated compared to what you had in Dartmouth, or is the technology far different, or?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, different community size, different populations. So
You don't have to
Um,
sugarcoat it. You don't
no,
have to say-
yeah, I'll say this. I will say that there's some systems here, that are worth looking at. Just to ask the question, but I really want to get an idea of what the process is. I wouldn't want to just suggest a solution if, the system or the process in place is adequate. Now, if there's a way to make it more efficient, or it's not serving the needs of the town, then yeah, like let's look at it. And, there's some examples from, when I was over in Dartmouth, but, so I'll just say, yeah, there's some things that, I want to look at, but some conversations that are needed. Yeah. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, you
Not
said
trying to sugarcoat it, but I'll say this, I just at a very high level, as time goes on, I think, we're going to be mindful that there's going to be more software needs, right? More, increases in those different budgetary items, and the technology is moving very fast. So, the things that we can rely on today, that might change, in any given year. So, and we'll monitor that. And, if it makes sense and it's appropriate, we'll present it as part of a plan going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
That's going, that's also, and I'm not being, dissing what you're saying at all. I think you're right, but it's going to create a shift in mindset, both the finance committee and, the voting population, as we move more towards technology and less away from, the kind of the nuts and the bolts that everybody is familiar with. So that'll be a nuanced conversation, but it's one that has to be had.
Yeah. And, and I'll just say, as part of the next, budget update, there might be a couple of adjustments in software for this fiscal year. If it's something that we can make do. I know as an example, at a recent select board meeting, they had talked about the desire to get the reverse 911, the code red system, for emergency communications. I know that's something that a couple of departments have, brought forward. I think that that's something, certainly is my goal to present as an option for, this fiscal year, so we don't have to wait, but also have a plan to fund that, going into FY 2027. So things like that, where, there's already, been a need expressed, and, it seems like, there's momentum behind that to get it implemented, has to make sense for the timeline.
Mhm.
So, of departments. So more to come.
Carrier pigeons.
Yeah.
Carrier pigeons. Yes.
All right, if nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All right, roll call. So Cindy,
Cindy Brown, aye.
Zach,
Zach LeBrew, aye.
Al,
Al Lee's eye.
Hugh,
Hugh Morton, aye.
Nancy,
Nancy Stancross, aye.
Gary. I can hear his lips saying
You're
aye.
muted.
Yes.
Thank you. And Karen Ross, aye. All right, good night, everyone. We'll see you
Good night,
next
Cindy.
week.
Good
All right.